care of our own, right? So if you go with the guy saying we're not taking care of our own, so standard government programs is government programs for everybody. And then the price will say that's not called befarhesia. What, you went into the office? That's, you're just applying. That's not called taking from them befarhesia. Okay, whatever
it is. Michal Shabbos like that, that would be considered befarhesia. No?
What are you saying?
That was Michal Shabbos in the SNAP office. It would be befarhesia. So why? Because I go to collect is it not befarhesia?
No, because okay, Shilas, how do you define befarhesia?
I mean, ultimately, I have to say that it's not a problem. Otherwise, there would be hundreds of thousands of mamzerim in the world. Anyone who's signed on a get to ksuba is possible this. Not anyone, but some of them.
Yeah, it's I hear. I don't know what. Okay, whatever it is, those are the tumults. Some of the tumults. Then, of course, you have taking money from friar people. How about irreligious people? Where do they fall? Right, and then there was another tzad kula, which is that the Rambam that holds all these goyim things is from Oivdei Avodah Zarah. If they're not Oivdei Avodah Zarah, then it's not a problem. So you also have that to rely on. Yeah. Anyways, okay. That's what that's what we're holding. Okay, so now, so we did that sugya, so we're at the top of Yud Aleph and Mid Aleph. Yeah, on the top, Tanya. We're finishing up with the Tzedakah Gemaras, and then we get into regular back to standard Bava Basra Gemaras, and then we get into more Agadata later in the week, Bez Hashem. Okay, so Tanya, Amru Allah Binyamin Atzadik. They said on Binyamin Atzadik, Shahi Mamuna al Kupashal Tzedakah, and he was Mamuna on Tzedakah. Pam Achas, Basel Isha Lefana B'Shnei Petzaros. A woman came to him in a year of starvation. Amru Lo Rebbe Parnaseni, and she said, Rebbe, be mefarnas me. So Amar Allah Havodah She'en Pekupah Tzedakah Klum. I mean, it was a famine, so there was nothing there. So what is he supposed to do? Amar Allah Rebbe. She said to him, Rebbe, if you're not going to be mefarnas me, I read issue of the Shibu Banel Mason. You're going to have a woman, and 5 of her kids are going to die. Amar Parnas Mishalah. So what he did is he went and he took his own private money, and he gave it to her. Right? So the Yomim Chala, days later, not the Lamus, and he was going to die. So our Malach Yeshua said in front of Hashem, anybody who even makes one person live, this is who makes the whole world live. He should die so young. So they tore up the Gzardin. And then we know that they added on 22 years onto his life. So you see that there's a good thing about giving, even though he's a Gabbai Tzedakah. Right? He's a Gabbai Tzedakah, so he don't really have to certainly not give from his own money, but he gave from his own money, and therefore it was it extended his life by 22 years.
And you put this together with the Gemara on the top of Amud Beis, the last Amud Beis, that someone who gives tzedakah when he doesn't know who he's giving to, and the person who's receiving doesn't know, that's even greater. That would be even more, exponentially more.
You mean here?
Well, they both knew who he was giving and who's. Right.
That's a good point. It's a good point. Yeah, very good. So Torah about
Who else was given?
What?
I'm sorry. Who else was given? Wasn't Cheskio given 22 years? Or someone else
That
given
was one.
22?
Somebody else was given 22 years, right?
Wasn't it Cheskio?
I don't remember. Somebody else was given 22. Was it something 22? But 20 wasn't it 22? But that was Yosef, maybe? No, I don't know. All right, faith. Fine. Turn around. Okay, so turn around. There was a story of Munbaz Melech. Shebizbaz Atzroisav Aitus of Havaisov. And he went and he went and he dipped into, meaning he took all the money from savings and from his father's savings. But it was a time of starvation. And his brothers and his father, the house of his father, got together on him. They were very unhappy with him. And they told him, your fathers, they put away money and they kept adding, meaning from their fathers. And you came and just wiped out the whole thing. So he gave a major musr. He said, my fathers hid it and down in this earth they hid it. But I'm putting it away for the next world. Right? MS will come out from the earth, and tzedek mishamayim nishkav, and tzedek will look down from shamayim. Our fathers, or my father, he hid money for something that Yad Shaletas, meaning you can put the money away, but it could be destroyed. I put it in a way where it can never be destroyed. Meaning there's no greater investment than giving tzedakah, right? You give tzedakah, it's forever. You can never lose that schus. They put it away in something that will not make them peiros, right? It's going to make peiros. They're going to eat the peiros of this, right? Meaning, I think it's based on the previous Gemaras, right? Karen Kayem is loy lam haba, and you have both, right? How's it go?
Why doesn't it say tzedakah?
Why doesn't it say tzedakah? I think
why do we say that in davening? Huh?
I think it's payah because I think it's included.
It's not. Maybe it's Gemil's Chasadim. Isn't tzedakah considered part of Gemil's Chasadim?
I think between payah and Gemil's Chasadim and I think that's included, right? That's the way Rashi says it.
The point is Karen Kayem is Lo'ilam Haba. Is that the point you wanted to make? The Karen Kayem that the Karen is Kayem is Lo'ilam Haba. So.
Right, but it doesn't say no. What Michael was asking is that it doesn't say it in it doesn't say it in that Mishnah, Tzedakah.
I think the Brisa, but obviously then when the Brisa says Gemil Chosadim, it's not including those other cases in Gemil Chosadim.
Well, yeah. Well, that. What do you mean? What are you saying? That it's not included?
Yeah, it's listed as a separate item. But all the most of the things in that brisa are types of gemilas chasadim. But when it says gemilas chasadim, then obviously it's not part of what the machshav of that price. So because
but just as Kala is there, that's tzedakah.
Right. Oh, that's right. That's what I'm saying. So it's not. It's
all
yeah.
Yeah, I hear that. Okay, bye. Avoisai ganzo oitzus mammon. They hid money. Vani ganasi oitzus nefashos, and I'm doing nefashos. Shenema pitzadik eitz chaim v'lekech nefashos chacham. V'lekech nefashos chacham. Avoisai ganzo lacherim. They're hiding the money for others. Vani ganasi la'atzmi. He says, but I did it for myself. Shenema lechotzi tzedakah. It's going to be for you. Right? Which is really the flip side of what's going on here. They're saving the money for themselves to be selfish, right, and not for others. He's giving it to others, but he's saying it's really he's going to get the stock because he's the one that gave the tzedakah. See, it's interesting. I don't know how you deal with that, but let's say you go take somebody else's money and you give tzedakah with it, which is essentially what I think. Unless I'm not sure what this. Did he have a right to do this?
You say he took their money. He took the money that they had a right. They did have a right to, and he was mezachel them with the dakas. It's kind of weird. It's like it's like stealing, but don't worry, I gave it for tzedakah. Thanks a lot.
No, but isn't that kind of what he's trying to tell them?
I want to give my money to tzedakah. Let me give my money to tzedakah. Who told you to write checks on my account?
Isn't that what Robin Hood did?
That's what Robin Hood, yeah.
Robin Hood. Like a big tzaddik Robin Hood. Yeah, I keep saying, that's Robin Hood. It's a big Russia.
No, but that's what he's trying to answer them. They came with a taina. Our forefathers gathered all this money for us, and you're giving it all away. He's trying to answer them what's good about it. This is the one that doesn't really make any sense. If he's trying to answer them, why is he telling them it's for me? Teretz is that they should join in. Oh, I want this too. I want this for me too. They should all say that, all his brothers.
Saying what, but in the midst, I don't know. But either way, let's say he took the Yerusha and gave it to tzedakah. Do they get schar at all?
Only if they stop having kindness. Isn't that's what he's trying to say? I did this
not
for
if
me.
They don't want
right
correct. Now. Not if they don't want it.
Right.
Ultimately, even if they have kindness, so what? But Lamaisa, their money went to tzedakah.
Not if they decide to go to Bezdin and say, "Oh, we want it back," and they make him pay them their share.
So if I take $1 out of your wallet and I give it to tzedakah, you get the chesed? You get a mitzvah?
Okay, didn't my money go to the tzedakah?
Oh, but you don't want it. You tell me why'd you give it? So you get the tzedakah?
Once that money changed, once he gained the money and put it to tzedakah, he was mashana it. So it was a tzedakah, and he owes everybody back the money that he took.
Well, Shini Rishus doesn't do anything without years. If they don't have years,
maybe at the end of this Gemara, you'll see they do have years. They ain't getting back nothing.
No, fakir. The fact that they're asking him shows they don't have years.
I don't understand. If you took my wallet and gave $10 to tzedakah, and what's it called? I'd get this chus until you pay me back. You pay me back.
Not if you don't want it. Why?
Not if you're tiny. Give me my money back.
I don't care. Good. Give me until he gives me the money back. I have this chus.
That makes no sense.
Who says they took my money and you give it to the tzedakah that I don't?
Against my will. Now what? But I lost the $10. I definitely got his chus. It went to tzedakah. If you pay me back, then I don't get this chus.
The fact that
if I came to your house and I took $20 out of your wallet and I gave it to tzedakah, until I give it back to you, you have a chus.
No.
Yes.
Not if I decide I want it back. I'm saying I don't want this chus.
But you didn't get it back yet.
I don't understand. I understand. The bottom line is whose money gave the tzedakah? I'm agreeing with Naftali, as painful as that is.
Well, with Mundaz, I think he owned it. They're just timing that what you're giving it away for. It was for everyone. He's the melech.
Okay, I don't know. What's the melech have to do with it? I'm saying that was just, I understood as that to the story. Anyways, okay, whatever it is. I'm not sure how this whole thing is working. Anyways, last one. They hit it for this world, and I hit it for the next world. The fun of okay, fine. Right, so the end of the mission. Now back to regular Gemara. We said that if somebody buys, normally you have to be in a city for a year, which we said really is only pertinent to this. But there's different amounts of times that you're part of the city, and depending on the different tzedakahs, etc. But if you're but we said that if you buy a house in the city, so then that's enough. You're automatically considered part of the city. Masnisin, the like Reb Shimon Gamliel, the Gemara says our mission is not like Reb Shimon Gamliel. The time of Shimon Gamliel, if you even buy a little bit of karka, then you're like the Anshe Ir. Right? Meaning it has nothing to do with buying a house. So you want to ask, we have a different price that it seems to say that you have to buy karka that's roi to a base dira, not like a mashu. Like those places that sell a little bit of Eretz Yisrael for Shemitah. Right? So one of them sounds like, according to Shimon Gamliel, if you did that, that would be enough that you have to pay taxes and tzedakah in whatever town in Eretz Yisrael that it was for. Right? And
do I have to pay tax? Does that count as a city that I got to pay taxes for now? That I'm a part of that year, like we learned a couple days ago, because I own a piece of karka.
It sounds like from the first of Shimon Gamliel, yes.
So maybe you could hold one day.
Maybe. Well, because you own karka, I don't know. That's a different gather. That's a nice try. But whatever it is, the Shimon Gamliel is a steer. One is that you own a mashu. The other one is you have to own enough land you can build a house. So it gives the classic answer. Trei Tanoim, I'll leave it to Shimon Gamliel. It's two Tanoim according to Shimon Gamliel. They're having two Tanoim having a machlokes according to Shimon Gamliel. Okay, so next Mishnah. Ein cholkin es achotzer achi arba amas lezev arba amas lezev. We had this a few blot ago. If you have a chotzer, you cannot force a partner. We're going to see later in the Mishnah that if both partners agree, you can do it. But you cannot force a partner, meaning you have a partnership, and then one guy says, I want out. You cannot force a partner to split up a property unless it meets minimum requirements. So the first requirement is that it has to, at least each party has to at least get four amas himself. Each one has to, so it's got to be 4 by 8 at the minimum. And not a field.
Wait, does that include the wall or exclude the wall?
The what?
Does the size include the wall or exclude the wall? So 4 by 8, once they build the wall, they won't have dalad left. If the wall is 5 fucking wide, depending on the minigamakim, then you lost an amma. They have 4 by 3.5 each.
I hear. No, I think it's without the wall, but I don't know. Right? Anyways, I don't know. You saw anything about it?
No, I thought we had something about it, like the beginning of this sugya that I can't remember. I think it was mashma with the wall. They need dalad.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think.
I don't remember. Okay, but a field is still it can create 9 kavin worth of produce. Yudaimer actually batisha chatzi kavin is that batisha chatzi kavin is that 9 half kavins for this one. Which the Gemara is going to say they're not really arguing. Again, the first shita says 9 kavin has to produce 9 kavin, and the other one has to produce 9 half kavin. But agina, and you can't split a garden. That's much smaller, so it's worth it to split it for a half a kav of each. The Kiva Aimer base roiva. The Kiva says that it's base roiva, quarter of a kav. Fine. Below is a traklin. You can't split a traklin. It's really like a castle, right? Below is a moiran, and not a hall, a large hall. Below is a shaybach, and not a chicken coop or bird coop. Below is a talis, and not a talis. Below is a merchatz, and not a merchatz. Below is base abad, and not an olive press. Below is base shlachin, and not a field that's irrigated. Meaning none of those things can be split until each one of them comes out with something substantial. Right? What's the rule? If you can split something and it has its name on it, meaning if you split something, right, and each one is considered, how do you say it? Like let's say you can, I don't know, you split a house and you say, oh, so each one got a house, then it's fine. But if you split something and it's nothing, so then each one has nothing. You can't split it, like a wine press, olive press. Right? You split an olive press, each one is not ending up with an olive press. They're ending up with a broken press. So therefore, it doesn't work. Vim lav ain't cholkin. But if not, then you're not allowed to split it. Aim aside, but when is that? That's when they both don't want. If they both want, even less than this, you could split it because they're each one entitled. The kisvei hakodesh, even if they both want, then they can't split it because kisvei hakodesh that we had before, it's a design to the kisvei hakodesh, right? Fine. Amar says, Amar Rav Asi, Amar Rav Yechman, Arba Amas Sha'amru, the 4 Amas that we're talking about, Chutz Mishal Psachim, it's excluding the Psachim, meaning the doors. And each door gets 4 Amas unto itself, and then you need 4 Amas in addition to that 4 Amas from the door. You don't split up a Chatzar, each one gets 8 Amas. Oh, but not to steer to our Mishnah. But not Arba Amas is Arba Amas is Shema Mino. Could Rav Asi? We are like this. Rav Asi Shema Mino. Fine. We could do Rami Lo Mira. Some learn the same Gemara with the same result, just a little different way. Some ask it as a kasha. Not any talking as a chatzarachi. But Arba Amas is Arba Amas is it says that you don't split our right. Our Mishnah says you don't split until each one gets 4. But Tani Shemayin Amas is Shemayin Amas is we have a Brisa that says each one gets 8. The 4 Amos that we said, it's chutz mishel psachim. It's except for the doors, right? So again, so basically that really adds on a lot to this. It basically doubles the amount, right? Instead of 4 by 4, you really need 8 by 8, and then split it half. Well,
it sounds like the 4 Amos by the psachim is unusable. So it means the same thing. They have 4 by 4 that's usable.
It's for the door to swing, no?
Right.
Yeah. Is there a glare on my screen? Is it bothering anybody? Anybody looking at me? No? Glare. Yeah, okay, so Amar Rav Huna, Chatzar Meschalekas L'fi Psacher, so that's a different thing. A Chatzar gets split according to its doors. Yeah? Meaning what's going on is you have a Chatzar, and a Chatzar has 2 houses. One of them has 2 doors onto it, meaning like it's a 2-family house, but let's say it's owned by 1 family, right? And the second house has only 1 door, and now they're splitting the yard, right? So then what you do is the guy with the doors takes 2/3 of the karka, and the guy with 1 door takes 1/3. You split it in ratio to how many doors you have. Rav Chisda Amar Noisten Arba Amas L'chol Pesach you do Dalet Amas to each Pesach. Bashar Cholkim B'Shavu. Meaning, so depend again. Again, the first sheet is saying, let's say the karka is made out of let's say it's 3 doors, 2 to one guy, 1 to another guy. The guy with the 2 doors gets 2/3. The guy with the 1 door gets 1/3 of the field. The second sheet that says no, each door, for the door you get 4 amas. Right? Before you get 4 amas, and then after that you split like regular. Yeah, so that's a machlok. It's Rav Huna and Rav Chisda. Tani comes say Rav Chisda. We have a brayso like Rav Chisda. Psachim shebechatzer yesh and 4 amas. Psachim to a chatzer have 4 amas. Hayelizeh Pesach echad ulizeh shnei psachim. Zeh sheyesh Pesach echad noitel 4 amas. Zeh sheyesh shnei psachim noitel shmayna amas. Because he has 2 doors. Bashar cholkim b'shava. And the rest you split equally. Right. So again, that's very much beferish like Rav Chisda. Let's say a guy has a door. Sometimes people have double doors to the front door. So he's got a doorway that's 8 amas wide. He takes 8 amas negative Pesach, and then 4 amas in the chutzner. 4 amas in the chutzner. Says, what's 4 amas in the chutzner? What is that? Rabbi Hachi Kamar Noitel Shmoina amas ba'oirech hachutzner, 4 amas b'roich hachutzner. What it means is that he takes 8 amas in the length of the chutzner, meaning in front of his doors, and 4 amas in the width. Right? Meaning he just gets an extra 4 amas because of the width of his door. So Amar Meimar, I pera discipli. This pera discipli, which is a pit that you put dates in it. I mean, it's basically a hole, and you put in the seeds or the pits of dates. For animal food, yeah. So it says, if you get 4 amas in every direction, because that's what you would need normally to access it. Right? But that's only if there's no special door in order to access this pit. But if the miyachid door, then all you get is the 4 amas from the door to this pit. Fine. So Rav Achsadra ain't no dalet amas. So Achsadra doesn't get dalet amas. Achsadra is basically doesn't have walls. It's actually machlokes Rashi Tosis exactly what this is, right? But basically the point of this whole thing is that the reason why you need dalet amas for a door is because you need a place to be able to park your. For nowadays, you park your car. You need a place to pull up your car to the door in order to unload. Or back then it was animals. So you needed 4 amas for that. Right? I wonder if Taka nowadays that cars are bigger than 4 amas. Right? So then maybe nowadays the shear would be bigger. I don't know. I just thought about that now. Right? So yeah. So anyway, so Achsadra, since it has no walls,
maybe less. Yeah, I was going to say less because you got these smart cars or whatever they call them, that they're like the size of a mini.
No, even without that, a chamer moves. It moves by itself, so you need space for it to move. You can't trap it. The car just stays where it is, and then you have one line that you need to get from the trunk to the house. That's it. You don't need dalet amas.
Right. Well, I don't know. I'm not sure how it works. I don't know, because here this is saying that here you don't have walls, so maybe you don't need dalet amas. Right?
Yeah, because you can bring the chamer onto the achsadra.
What, you can pull it inside?
Yeah.
Okay, but we'll see how that works with the Gemara Vaita though. Let's see. So anyway, so the Chsadra L'chara doesn't have walls, so you can do that. Yeah. Time of my, what's the reason? Because you have to unload his load. Right, like Keshin just said. You bring the animal inside and you bring farid. Okay. So Masav Rav Sheshes Echad Shari Batim the Echad Shari Achsudrois Yeshin Talaramas. Whether you have the gates of a house, which means the doors, and the gates of an achsadra, you get talaramas. So you see, the Bryce says an achsadra does get talaramas. Tanya achsadra de Rav. What are we talking about? That's talking about the achsadra de Rav. Right? That was like a porch with walls, right? Or what do they call it nowadays? What's it called? What do they call those things?
A pergola.
Pergola. There you go. Thank Chopsy. Very good. A pergola. Right? The other knows what a pergola is. Okay. So showing. So their pergolas had walls. So that's what you needed dalaramas. So Gemara asks, "Achsadu de Beirab Pshita in Druna Ma'alyahu." It's a regular porch or whatever. It's a regular room in a house. But why would you think it doesn't get dalaramas? Ela b'achsad room miyisa. Talking about from Rome, and achsada from Rome. Right? Meaning, so it's half walls. So since it's half walls, right, then you think that, the Havamid is a little tough to understand. So it's a half a wall. If it's a half a wall, you can't park your animal in there. Right? So we say, no, it's considered like a room that you can't get your animal in there, and therefore you do get the dalaramas. So basically, again, if you can get your animal in, good. If you can't get your animal in, no good. Right? Torah Rabbana, base shar achsadr merpeses yeshem dalaramas. A base shar and achsadr merpeses gets dalaramas. Right? Hayu chamisha batim psuchim the merpeses. Let's say you have 5 apartments opening to one porch. Right? Meaning you have a 5. How do you call it? Like the way I'm thinking about this is, I guess it's a regular apartment building, right? Regular apartment building, 5 apartments open up into one stairwell. Yeah. So ein lahen ella dalaramas bovad. All you get is meaning, does each one get dalaramas, or is it dalaramas for one entrance? Right. So basically, they all have to share their dalaramas. Let's say you have a lul shatan goyim, that's a chicken coop. So do you get dalaramas for that or not? What's the reason that you need it? Because unload. The tapas here they go up and down. Right? They don't need. This is not. It has nothing to do with unloading by a chicken coop. You'll get them in there by themselves. So Mamela. You don't get your 4 ounces. Fine. Let's say you have a roof that's half covered and half not covered, meaning a room that the roof is over half of it. Does it have dalaramas or not? It doesn't get dalaramas. Goes without saying where it's covered on the inside, meaning, and the roof without the top is by the outside. I mean, the part without a roof is on the outside. Because you can come inside and unload over there.
Right? What's the definition of the word inside and outside now?
The inner part of the room.
I mean, usually we would say inside means there's a roof and outside means there's no roof.
What are you saying?
Usually our uptight of the words inside and outside means inside has a roof and outside does not. Here, the house has no, in the second case, the house has no roof and the outside has a roof. How is that inside and outside?
That doesn't meaning if you come up, you pull up to a porch, right? The half this is the way I understood it. The half that's closer to the house has a roof. The half that's not close to the house does not have a roof. Right? Yeah. So even if it's at the end, the roof is on the outer part. So bring the animal inside, and then you'll unload it. Again, I don't understand what's going on here. What do you need a roof or no roof to unload an animal? What does a roof have to do with anything?
Might make a difference if it's raining.
Okay. Maybe only eat your dollar amas in the rain.
Well, he's saying even then you don't get it. There's no, you just do it. That's the point.
I don't know. It seems like you're bringing the animal inside. So Mamela, since it has no roof, right? So you're not going to keep things there because it's not protected, right? Okay, I still don't understand why. I mean, I guess people are lazy, so you want to bring the animal in as far as you can go. I guess. Okay, I'm not sure.
The Havamini, you mean? Maskana is there's no such thing. Just bring them inside the house.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so Bamine Rav Huna Rav Ami Echem Ibnei Bava Shebikush Lahasa Pisva Lamavi Achim. So again, for this Gemara and the next Gemara and the next top, really need to understand. You have houses that open up to Chatzar, multiple houses open to a Chatzar, and then multiple Chatzeros open up to a Mavui, and then that Mavi opens up into Rosh Hashanah. The art scroll has a diagram of this. Trying to think. I mean, the only real way to know this is to see this is in Yerushalayim, I think. Right, Yerushalayim, you walk by, you see a bunch of houses, bunch of apartments, right? They open up into a chutzner, right? And then you have multiple chutzneros open up into a street, and then that street goes to Rosh Hashanah. But I mean, the basic way to understand it is the dead end. Thank you, Chopsy. Chopsy's putting on the screen. Right. So basically, you have these multiple houses that, let's say I go to dead end street. So you have a bunch of houses in the dead end street. Some of them 2-family houses. So each one of them they share a chutzner, like they share a yard. Then that chutzner opens up to the mavli, which is the dead end street. And then at the end of the dead end, that combines into Rosh Hashanah. Right. So now this guy has a back entrance. He can basically what he could do is he could take his house and open into a different chutzner. Meaning sometimes you have this also with shortcuts. People want to make shortcuts through people's houses. So can a guy close up a shortcut, not close up a shortcut? Decide he wants to walk through to the other street from his backyard. I mean those type of things. So that's what's going on over here. Yeah. So okay. Basically, what he wants to do is take his door. Instead of it going out the front door, he wants to go out the back door. So the B'nai Mavui, I'm not Akaman, they can tell them they don't want it. I mean, that's a shaila. Can they be Makaman or not? Can they not be Makaman? Meaning, because they're not interested in more traffic coming through. Meaning, right now, he only opens up to the other Mavui. Now he's going to open his door to the other, this Mavui, all of a sudden have more traffic. Amalei says, B'nai Mavui ma'akman alone. The B'nai Mavi can be ma'akavim and say, we're not interested in more people coming this way. Fine. So then they want to say a different shot. Achsanya, if you have, so back then, basically what they did is they had to house soldiers. Right? So the question was, based on how many people living in the house, or how big houses were, that's how many people you had to, how many soldiers you had to have. So Achsanai, do they get split up according to the amount of people that are in the building? Or do we go with according to the doors? Right? So, meaning, do we say how many apartments are in the building? That's how many soldiers go. Or do we say how many people are in the building? Right? I'm sorry, not people. It sounds like people. It's not people. It's how many apartments or how many entrances. That's the question. So again, Asani Lefi B'nei Adam. I got mixed up with this before, and I got mixed up with it now too. Lefi B'nei Adam doesn't. It's not the amount of people, the amount of apartments, right? Other people talk about Amalei Lefi B'nei Adam is like it. So it goes Lefi B'nei Adam, meaning apartments. Tani Nami Achi Zevel Shabbat. So every chatzar they needed to get rid of all their excrements, and eventually it made fertilizer, which they used in their to farm. So how do you split it up? Does it get split up by how many doorways there are, and So the Gemara is saying the Gemara doesn't even ask that. The Gemara says it goes according to the amount of doors. And Afsani goes according to people. Fine. Let's say one of the Bnei Mavi that he wants to close up Keneged Pisla, meaning we're saying that everybody gets 4 amas in front of his door, right? That's his rights. So let's say the guy decides he wants to put up a wall around his 4 amas, which will then impede on the rest of the people in the Mavi, right? Meaning again, each guy's house, he's entitled to 4 amas. Fine, he's entitled to because he needs to bring his animal to unload. But let's say he decides he wants to extend his house and he wants to build walls. Can you do that or not? So the Bnei Mavi can stop him and say, you can't do that because now we got to go around. Right? Till now, we could walk through your Dalet Amas. Yes, the Dalet Amas belongs to you, but we could walk through it. And now you put up a wall, you can't.
Sounds like you have to have a homeowners association for every kind of situation like this. Where you have a shared chatzerim and a mavoi. Yeah.
Yes, this is exactly why you need to have a homeowners association, Rachman, 100% right. Today, I copped out of a shayla. 2 kids in camp decided that they're going to switch beds, and they shook on it. Then the guy changed his mind. So they wanted to know, is the shaking on it considered a deal and you can't back out? I said, I don't know. You got to ask the rules of the camp. I said, wait, I don't know what that means. Shaking, and switch bed, not switch bed. I don't know. Right? Anyway, so Mace, they asked the question. So you have 5, going again with our thing, that you have houses opening to chatzah opening to a mavoi. So you have 5 chatzeros open to a mavoi. That's basically the simple way to understand it is it's a dead-end street, and then you have houses and entrances from houses all along the street. So now, kulan mishtamshos im hachitzayna, all the people can be mishtamish with the outside one, right? They can walk by the outside one. Why? Because how else are they getting out? Meaning all the inner houses are allowed to walk by the sidewalk of the guy's house on the outside. But the outside guy has no right to go towards the inside guys. Because for what reason? He gets to his house, he doesn't have to go further in. Meaning the guys that are you have 5 houses in a row on a dead end. So the back house has a right to walk in front of the guy's Dalet Amas from the front 4 houses, because otherwise how's he getting out? Right? But the front guy has no reason to be walking on the Dalet Amas of the back guys. It's a dead end. There's no place for him to go. Right? So why should he walk this? So that's what the Gemara says. But that's it. And then the same thing. Everybody else can work with the second house in He can work only with himself, but not with the one out and with the one closer to the street. The inside one is Mishameshes for itself, and the other one is which each and every one. So what do you see? That you only have a right to walk where it's necessary, right? Meaning you only have, and if it's not necessary for you to walk there, then you have no right to be there. But Rav Huna said that everybody in the Mavri can say to a guy, don't build a wall. Meaning, if let's say the back guy wants to build a wall around his Dalet Amas, like the last guy in the dead end, the Chayra, according to Rav Huna, you're not allowed to, because everybody in the Mavri could stop it. But according to the second brisa, nobody's allowed to go anywhere in the back guy, the guy that's in the end of the dead end. Nobody has a right to go there. So why can't he build a wall around his Dalet Amas? He should be able to. Well, it says Tanoi, it's a machlokes Tanoi. The Tanya Echad b'nei Mavi should be kishlach sefiskel Mavi Achim. If one of the b'nei Mavi wants to turn his door to a different Mavi, the b'nei Mavi can stop him. But let's say he closed it up and then he wants to reopen it. Ain't b'nei Mavi makron. They can't stop him, right? Because he was there before. He had opening before. Divrei Rebbe. 5 chatzeros that open to a Mavi. Kulan mishtamshes b'mavi zu and zu. They can all be mishtamish with each other. Chatzeros man doch hashmaya. Someone says, "What are you talking about? Who's talking about chatzeros here?" Right? We're talking about Mavi, not chatzeros. Or it says, "V'surah mechzer of achigatani." Chain chamish chatzeros of psukas l'Mavi. 5 chatzeros open to a Mavi. Kulan mishtamshes in the chatzayna. They could all use the outer one. The outer one can only use itself. That's it. Meaning the guy on the outside, the guy closest to the street, is not allowed to go use anybody else. They're all allowed to use. They all have access. So basically, bottom line is it's a machlokes tanoim. If you have like a dead end street, if everybody has access to everybody else's front of their houses, or they only have access to the houses that they need to have access to in order to exit, and that's it. But other than that, they don't have access. Okay.
I want to park my car down the street, not in front of my house. This guy wants. I'm leaving more to the front, towards the one end of it, and I put my park. I park across the street. I park wherever I want.
Oh, so I wonder now. Right. So, but maybe you don't have a right. It's a good point, Rahman. Do you have a right to say you want the parking spot in front of your house? Right? Common machlokes amongst neighbors.
Aaron Horowitz, according to the Tanakhama, is the only one who can park outside his house.
Right. Aaron Horowitz lives on the last house on the dead end. Right. The Lamaisa, do you have rights in front of your house to park? Pashtus is from this Gemara or not, but maybe you're right. In the homeowners association, if they make it like that, so then yeah. But let's say New York City, there's no homeowners association. So I don't know. That's a good question.
He has a driveway. What's the difference? He has a driveway with a garage in the back.
No, but
so
still.
that's a masukin for him.
That's the chutzner. We're talking about the mavli.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a big chiddush. The chutzner, of course, is his. But the mavli, he has rights over the mavli that no one else has.
Yeah.
Even though he doesn't own it, l'chayr, he doesn't own the mavli. None of them own the mavli. The mavli is just there as a way to get to the chutzner.
Yeah.
Does it make a difference if at the end of the mavli is not a real Rishus Rabim? It's just another mavli? We define a mavli that opens to the Rishus Rabim, but if it's not open to Rishus Rabim, it's just open to a mavli. Take Rose Street, for example. It opens up to Central Avenue. Not Central. What is that? Cornega, right?
Yeah.
So Cornega would be just another mavli. So does that take away from the definition of the mavli of the how we're learning this?
I don't know. I don't know how it works. I don't know how it worked back then, and I certainly don't know how it works nowadays.
I don't know if that's possible for a mavli to open into a mavli. That's what I was saying. The point of a mavli is a way to get to someone's chutzner and house. Something like Cornega, that's not the point of Cornega. The point of Cornega is to get from point A to point B. The point of a mavli is just to get from Rosh Hashanah to one's home.
So if it's not a Rosh Hashanah at the other end of the mavli, at the opening of the mavli, so then does that change the definition?
I don't know.
Then it's not a real mavli?
What do you mean? It's impossible. It would be no Rosh Hashanah. It's not. A mavli opens into something which gets you from point A to point B, not gets you into your home by definition. It's not Rosh Hashanah like Deraisa with 16 Amos or 600,000 people. That's not what Rosh Hashanah means here. Rosh Hashanah that a mavli opens into is something that gets from point A to point B, which is why everyone has rishus to it. A mavli, the outside people have no rishus to be there, even though it doesn't belong to the homeowners, but other people don't have any rishus to it, because the whole point of the mavli is to get to the people who live there.
I don't know. Okay, let's finish it up and then we can continue there. All right, let's take Tillim. You want me to stop? I can stop it.